Today I will show you how to rehydrate sea moss in 3 simple steps. Wash, soak, blend. Let's get to it. Sea moss is actually seaweed, kind of salty. This is in its dried form. It has been laying around in the sun. It could expand up to 7 or 8 times its size. So usually what people do is they'll mistakenly open this entire pack and try and rehydrate it, and then discover the rehydrated sea moss spoils very quickly in less than 2 weeks in the fridge. So what you'd actually do is you would take a very small amount, usually only a handful, about 20 to 30 grams of the stuff. This is enough for a week's worth of sea moss gel. So these packs that you pay 175 or sometimes 150 rand when they're on sale on the Macro website or on our website, this is more than a month's worth of sea moss supply for one person. Let's go to the kitchen and show you the rehydration process. This is the fun part. So to make 1 week supply of sea moss, you will need, no, I'm just kidding, only that much. It's about 30 grams and a jug of water. You will also need roughly 24 hours and a little bit of a blender, and you'll also need to get your hands on a jar or some kind of container at the end. You get a decent sized bowl, you stick your sea moss in it, you get distilled water. You'll need about a liter or so for this amount. But what you're going to do is just going to start off by rinsing the sea moss. Get yourself an assistant and then have them do the rinsing for you. As you can see, they will pour the water into the bowl. They will agitate the sea moss because there are sand particles. I think you'll be able to see it if I do this. There are sand particles that are in the sea moss. So you'll need to have your assistant rinse it thoroughly by rubbing it and scrubbing it with their hands. Now what happens is you'll see the water changes color because this was obviously in ocean water, so the water changes color. As you rinse it, you will continue the rinsing process and repeat this until your water runs clear after the rinse. The water will look kind of green, gray, odd color. Yellowish. Yeah, yellowish. That's the best angle I have of what that water looks like. So you will repeat this process until the water runs clear. I'm just going to skip ahead of that. This is what your water looks like after 3 rinses. You can see it comes out nice and clear. So now you can begin the soaking process. That's where that 24 hours come into play. The next part depends on your preference. Some people like to soak this with lemon slices or lime slices. They'll cut this up. They'll stick it in the water alongside the sea moss. You ensure that you have enough distilled water. You stick this in a nice big bowl. You fill the bowl to the point where everything is submerged. You are free to cut up your lemon slices or your lime slices if you want. Stick a few slices in there. Then what you do is you cover this with a cloth or cling film if you have it. You can even take a plastic bag if you want. Just make sure you cover this because you don't want dust or bacteria getting into this water. It's going to soak for 24 hours in a cool, dry place if you can. And we'll come back when this is completely rehydrated and I'll show you the blending process. Keep water nearby, keep checking on it, keep topping it up. You'll see the swells up quite a bit more. We'll check on this in a couple of hours again. Here's the big reveal. We actually left this for another day just to show you what actually happens to the water. If you overhydrate this, you'll notice it's no longer that purple, but as you can see, that tiny little bit of sea moss we stuck in here is now this much. It expands 6-7 times its volume when placed in water, but as you can see, the water has now taken on a little bit of color, and those are just left over little specks of, what is that? That's little pieces of sea moss in there. We now need to blend this, and from there we can consume. For the next part, you will need one assistant. Smile for the camera assistant. Your assistant will need one blender, accessories, one jar, a refrigerator, some way to power your fridge, some way to put it. Get your sea moss in your blender.
Big sea moss.
Blend it. Okay, let's try this again. It's a little bit on the grainy side. I'd like mine to be a bit more of a paste, so I will add more water. Yes.
That should be tasty enough. That sure is pasty.
Yep. So once you have it the consistency you want, you need to set this aside for about 10 minutes or so, because this, unbelievably enough, it thickens up even more. In the meantime, I'll transfer this into this and then stick all of that in the fridge. I threw a little bit of water into the last few bits that's left in the jug. I'm just going to swirl it around, try and clean the jug out, but also get the last little bit of sea moss, because this seems like it's going to thicken way more than what I'm prepared for. So I'm definitely adding a little bit more water to it. It hasn't even been 5 minutes, and this is what it looks like already. So I definitely like mine a little bit less thick. So I'm just going to add this in there, mix them nicely, stick that in the fridge, and then I'll get back to you guys. This is the final product. This has been sitting in the fridge for a while. You can see it's definitely gel form. It's fairly firm. It doesn't run that well, but it definitely thickened up quite a lot. You can see it's still mixed the way I had it. This is about 200 mils. This is a 400 ml jar, so this is just under 200 mils. You can have this with anything. Usually I just have a single tablespoon like this. On its own, it's the first thing I have in the mornings. Just 1 tablespoon is more than enough to get your recommended daily allowance of all 92 vitamins and minerals that you need in order to keep your body functioning healthy. Go get yours now.